All right. Welcome to Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. We are blowing these through the water right now, which is fantastic. And we are starting to get into the more heavier games. So this is going to be one that, even though I will have the boost on it, it's still going to take a little bit because there is a very big transition that happens in this game, like in 3 different stages at that. So the world is probably one of the most interesting world designs that I've ever been a part of in a Final Fantasy game. It's everything is not as it seems. So once we get deeper into the story, all that stuff will make sense. For those who have played it, you already know. For those who are newcomers, this is going to be an adventure that is going to span for quite a while. In terms of difficulty, this game is probably one of the easier Final Fantasy games. It's definitely a lot easier than 4. 4 was pretty tough with like the encounters and everything like that. Like every battle felt like it could destroy you. This one is not so much. Obviously, I've beaten the game. So if we're looking at the total time, though, this game is significantly heavier than any of the other games combined. I mean, the runtime alone, this is me without the boost. This took doing everything that the game had to offer. And I don't even think I haven't even fully leveled these guys to 99. I just took all their jobs and leveled those instead. If we combine 1, 2, 3, 4 all together, I don't even think they match up with this runtime. And if they do, they probably come really close. So this game is very heavy. We are now, like I said, entering the very heavy stages of Final Fantasy games. So this was going to take a while, which is why I'm opting for these live sessions rather than just episodic, because it's going to take way too much time to do any of that. Especially as I try to clear the game. So far, it's been 100% playthroughs, other than missing Excalibur and FF2, but honestly, Blood Sword was going to reign champion anyway, so it didn't really matter too much in the end, and you get a better sword at the last game dungeon anyway. So, alright, well, let's begin this one, and we'll talk a little bit more about how this is all going to work. All right. So a pretty interesting beginning, right? It's not your typical like Star Wars themed words scrolling to the top, reading about like some kind of destinies and all this stuff. This time around, we have like, you know, we're in a castle. We see a king with his daughter and a wyvern, and you know, then it transitions over to a pirate ship, and then you got some old guy that's staring into some kind of floor panel, and then, you know, we end up being this guy over here. Just a basic adventurer, right? A very interesting start to the game. It's not really telling us a lot, other than that something is going on with the crystals, which Final Fantasy V is all about the crystals still. But we haven't dropped that at all. Once again, we have formation changes, so if you want to put your characters in the back and the front, obviously that is what it is. The jobs have returned, but this time around the jobs are more revamped and I think done a lot better in this game than they probably were in 3. Where 3 started it all with the job system, the 5 is where it kind of really started to make more sense for the team at Square to do this. And as you can see, we have a bunch of stuff here, right? We got white magic, black magic, a new type of magic called time magic. Summon, obviously, Spellblade, blue magic, and sing. So stuff that we've seen before. Time magic, Spellblade, and blue magic are all unique and different, though. They have never been featured in any game until now. Blue magic is absolutely the most god tier and most powerful thing in this entire game. And it's something that you'll want to get used to using pretty heavily, actually, in this one. Now, how's it going to work is I'm going to have all of this stuff up, right? Just like we did in the other one. We're going to have the boost on for experience, gil, and APB. That's your ability points. So we're going to grow really fast just so, you know, we don't have to spend too much time grinding around and watching that boring part of the game. And then once we actually start getting jobs, it'll make more sense about, like, the abilities and stuff and how we're actually going to be able to interchange a lot of the different things we do here. So this time around, the status menu is going to be a little bit more useful because we're going to see the different type of stats that are associated with each job. And then you're going to be able to calculate how much APV you need for your next job level and this and that. We have 1 out of 22 jobs already, with freelancer being the first job of them all. Everybody starts out as a freelancer, so. And in some cases, other versions of 5, freelancer is actually like the most top tier job that you can have at the end of the game, because you're able to mix in whatever abilities from other jobs that you've mastered and put them into this guy, and there are some insane builds that you can test out and try when you're doing that. But by far, I think this is one of the more difficult FFs to get all your trophies and stuff, because it's not as simple as, you know, just beating the game and beating a couple bosses. Like, you actually have to learn like all the songs. You have to learn all the blue magic, all the spells, everything. And some of the stuff in this world or in this game is missable, and it's very vague on what you missed and like how easily you can miss something before it like ruins your entire experience at getting whatever trophy you're trying to get. So like specifically in this game, there's 8 pianos that you have to play throughout different towns, and as you go through the game, the world state's going to change a few times actually, and you have to be able to find all 8 pianos. And it's like, so it's just a weird thing. It's like, okay, you don't know that you have like a piano level type thing going on here. So you play the piano, you got to do it 8 times, and then at the end of that like sub quest or whatever, you get like a bard song that's completely missable. And in some situations, like a town might get destroyed or something, and you'll lose that piano access forever. If you didn't access it earlier or do it, then you lose it for good. This game, I would definitely suggest running a guide. If you're trying to do anything 100% wise for this, definitely run a guide on it. Don't try to freehand it unless it's your first playthrough. Then just kind of get to know it. Play it as you would any other game. But if you're going for a complete 100% playthrough, definitely use a guide. There are monsters in this game that will be locked out. So just so you know. Okay. As you can tell, the world is pretty huge right now, right? We do have a plethora of places that we can go to and kind of witness and all that kind of stuff, explore. There are quite a few mountain ranges, though, so you can see that you do get locked out of a lot of places, so can't fully explore a bunch of things just yet. But yeah. Alright, so we'll take Bart's. Is the character's name. And then I want to go towards that meteor. A Tycoon Meteorite. And then once again, it also features how many chests and items, so that's going to be standard throughout the entire Pixel Remaster experience. Got Boko the Chocobo. Yeah, another iteration of goblins. In some versions of the game, he's known as Butts. So he's often clowned as one of the worst Final Fantasy protagonists ever in the game. Though, with this story specifically, I wouldn't even consider Bart the actual main character of this game. I think that honor probably goes to 2 other characters for sure, because the story is more centered around them than it is anything else. As we play through, we'll know exactly who that is. But I mean, honestly, I can make a case for maybe every character has their own piece, but Bart's is definitely the weakest of the storylines. But it's okay. I understand the reason why he gets clowned a bunch. He is a clown. He does act kind of silly, so he's like our most least serious protagonist that I think we've ever had up to this point. I think this is also one of the most underrated tracks of, or albums of the Final Fantasy history. Like nobody really talks about Five's music a lot, but Five has a bunch of music that is really good. Like a lot of the stuff is featured in, a lot of different of my playlists and everything. I really do enjoy the music of Five for sure. The boss battle theme I think is probably not that great compared to other boss battle themes, but it is more menacing. So I guess if you look at it in different ways of art, it can be pretty nice. The battle theme is really nice, but just like the overall like character themes and everything, the overall theme of FF5 is pretty. It's up there. It's up there with the good ones. His name is Galuf. Galuf. And as we can see, Bartz is not really a complete team player. So on this one, you can kind of see that there's no real good way to tell where the hidden paths are at. Just yet, actually. But, yeah. It's a lot of trial and error when it comes to these. Especially in the dungeons. Dungeons are probably the worst about it. was a nice find.
Oh, the two's up real quick. Whoa. I just sleep.
Yeah, it took a little to actually fall asleep. I'm kind of worried about that. I had a text from Lisa. Here's a call off.
You're like,
I was half expecting to get a fucking phone call saying, hey, can you give me your
would you have?
It would have been the night case, probably. I have to love sleeping too many.
I woke up at 1 a.m. and then went back down. Woke back up at 5. My phone was at 1%. Oh, so once again, another God tier soundtrack playing. This one's pretty much one of the more hyped ones. So stat-wise, this game was also one of those that leaned towards like the difference between, you know, the male and the female versions of the game. So if we look at Lena, she has a higher magic stat, so it's already telling you that she would probably do better in the magic category, which historically, you know, they've always been about having the females be like the mage type characters. And then Bart's with the strength higher and Galuf with stamina higher. So, you know, you just, again, warrior classes versus the mage classes. It's always good to kind of look at those stats first, though, to see where they might do better in. And once again, more interactable environments. So a lesson they've taken from 3 and just kept on doing. Pretty much will be a staple for these games going forward in the future forever at this point. Like I said, dude's not really a very serious character, but they tried something different. catching them. That's what we needed right there. They really are that dumb, huh? They don't see their buddies in agony. That's a pretty okay casting. I can see it.
Yeah.
Put the pointy ears on, and they're good to go. I feel like it's gonna be good. Nintendo movies have always been really good. They just take forever to make them. Can you imagine? That'd be so cool. It's a day one for me. Yeah, lore update. I'm going back to bed. Good lore, huh? And new character Ferris as well. A little bit more even across the board. Probably. So we see these returning from 4. You get save points in dungeons and stuff like that. Obviously, it doesn't really matter too much with the quick save option in these pixel remasters, but you're able to use tents and cottages, which is just as useful. Split paths, pretty much every dungeon's going to feature something like that. Just take a path and see where it might go. If it goes the direction you need to go, then get out and go the other way, so you don't miss anything. Alright, first semi-boss of the game. This guy in iPhone version can be kind of problematic. Sometimes he just takes one of your people down instantly. And that's pretty much why. He just has a really strong attack. Alright, Crystal's giving us power. That's how the game's going to go pretty much for the duration of the time. Other versions of 5 will have not random, but like special crystals that you can get from side dungeons, specifically harder ones. Kind of like DLC content, but this game is obviously not that type. With the Pixel remasters being more faithful to their original releases, they did not do any of that side stuff. So we'll just get like the basic jobs from all the crystals that we get from the base game. But pretty good plethora to start with already. 6 jobs to choose from. Obviously, kind of want to balance the party out as much as you can, but 5 has like a fan base that love to do the 4-job fiesta, is usually what it's called, and it's just kind of like a randomizer. You play with whatever job and you stick with that job until like the end of the game. I'm not going to do no challenge runs like that. We're just going to do as much as we can until they get kind of boring and then move on with, other jobs. You do want to max out everything. You have to max out everybody's jobs if you want to get the trophy for that, which takes quite a long time. But suggestion-wise, obviously a knight would always be great. Now, just specifically for this early part of the game, you want at least one blue mage. Alright, so a lot to explain with this. In Final Fantasy V, you're able to take other abilities from other jobs that you've mastered and put them into other jobs as well to kind of like mix and match abilities and commands. The only thing that you can't really change out right away is the job commands on each job, because these come inherent with whatever job you're at. So for the knight, his is guard. Usually, the knight's always had this ability where it guards the weaker or the near-death companion. Blue magic, this is the new one. This allows him to perform level 3 abilities with magic. The white mage and black mage have level 6 up to level 6 spells, so they pretty much are like the master class and the ability to use all the magics of the game, but only specific to their school. Obviously, you can see that the equipable items, every job can't just put whatever on, they have to have the ability to use it. And then as you level up, you also get APB, which is your ability points. And every job in this game has 10 levels that they have to reach before they max out in their job point. And every single level that you get like a different ability associated with it. So you'll be able to kind of mix and match what ability you can actually put in them. So like if we max out the black mage, you'll have like an MP plus 30% type thing going on. And then you can just kind of interchange that with other jobs as you master them and level them up. That'll make a lot more sense though when we actually start seeing it happen. Specifically to the Pixel Remaster, you only need one character as a blue mage to learn the enemy's magic skills. So if they get hit by it, then every character learns it. That used to not be a thing. You had to have every character had to be a blue mage in order to learn a spell, which can take a long ass time to do that. That's just the way it was. Thankfully, in the Pixel Remaster, they shortened that time down, so only just need to get hit once. And hopefully it's randomized to where it hits that one character. Sometimes it takes a while. So if you want to make things go faster, then you want to make everybody a blue mage. But it doesn't happen right out the gate. So like right now, if we get hit with a blue magic spell that's learnable, even though it hits Galif, it's not going to be learned because we don't have the ability to learn just yet. And that's where shit gets kind of confusing. First timers, go ahead and say yeah. I'm obviously not, so I'm going to say no. And then something like right now, this is the best time to actually kind of grind around a little bit, get those levels up, get whatever job points you want first. Out here, you're looking for a stray cat. Those are usually the rarer. It's very important to grab all the monster entries through each dungeon that you can get them as early as possible, because some of these monsters will become missable in the future once things start to shake up a little bit. Which is why I said when you're going to go play 5 and you're trying to do a platinum run or whatever, it's definitely worth using a guide. Because I'm not going to remember everywhere that these things pop up on. So then now we've all learned at least one ability, so if you want to go down to you're constantly going to be in the menu. This game is really menu heavy. We learned the ability to cover, so take hits for allies with low HP. This is just an inherent ability, so you don't have to use this in battle, it'll just kind of happen. Whereas the knight is just a tank, you put that on, and then every time that the game triggers like a low HP character, he's just going to step in and take the damage for him. Check's not bad. You can just check an enemy's HP, which is whatever. Mostly want to use it on the boss to kind of gauge how much damage you're doing. Yeah, that's what you want first. So now that we have the ability to learn now, definitely want that on the blue mage. Then head back in because we have some monsters that we want to bait for attacks. Alright, Black Goblin, we want Goblin Punch. That's what you're waiting for. Oh, you hit the wrong one. Well, that sucks. I love that he's trolling the fuck out of me right now. There we go. So, welcome to the most miserable experience of Final Fantasy V. It's the blue spells are really nice to learn, but that's how you have to do it. It doesn't matter if it hits other characters; it has to hit the one that is a blue mage and has learned, or at least learn on them. And when you go down to your magics, you can kind of read what it does, and we can see like there's a whole list. This fills all the way up. Attacks one enemy with Goblin Strength, yeah. That's very randomizer, so we saw that one attack did like 120 and the rest of them were doing like 3 to 9 damage. So it's kind of by luck and chance if you hit harder. Okay, then we're looking for a Molly win next. Usually encounter these guys around this area. There they are. So 3 is actually really good. More chances to get the spell we need. I think these guys will summon Arrow. Of course. You want these guys, they do like a vampire thing or something like that. There we go. So already got 3 good spells to start out with, if you know where to look. And two-handed is really nice. So you lose the ability with the shield, but since he doesn't even have one right now, yep, twice as much damage. So it's important to read the notes about what weapons can do, because you can see it says can be two-handed and can be enchanted. Some weapons obviously can't be two-handed or enchanted, which might destroy your build a bit. There are some pretty tough monsters you can encounter right now on this little archipelago if you need to. Bandersnatch, there it is already. The bighorn will probably really fuck you up. Eat at 11. I'm not going to the gym. That's just trying to go. Damn, all the way to go.
114 years old. Holy shit. That's gotta be a fake age.
A little bit of character background there. Yeah, in this game you gotta buy the spells as well. But the good thing is that you don't have to like put them to one character, you just buy it once and then everybody knows it. But now your mages can actually do stuff, so that's good. Libra is actually a really powerful spell. That's one that you don't want to just sit on. That can kind of get you through a lot of the game's experience, to be honest. Especially when you combine it with different blue magics. We gotta pull the dancers down so they can go to the piano. Like I said before, the pianos are pretty important in this one. Y'all have monsters in the water here. You need to encounter them because these are, I believe, the first missable sets. Jesus. That was a loud. No. That was a hit. Oh shit! Not even real. It looks like AI right there.
No, they're real. They're real.
That looks AI as fuck.
No, they're real horses.
Ain't no way. They can't be that clean.
Yeah.
While we're in areas that you don't learn new blue magic, it's probably better to start training other jobs too. But we actually do have the ability to retain that blue magic, and this is what I'm talking about with abilities. As long as you learn it in the other job, you can use them associated with any other job that you put on the field. It's like we could literally be a thief the entire game and still have learned, so you'll still learn blue magic. You don't have to be one primarily anymore. But a thief is good for lots of good reasons here. You're gonna want one in the future anyway.
That's why you pay attention to where you're sitting.
Oh, lady was like, "Yep, the technology did to these kids."
Mhm.
He do himself a wolf. All right.